Some backpacking gear is overhyped. Some is just straight up useless. And I guarantee at least one of these will surprise you. Save your cash. Here's what's not worth it. All right, let's start with one that might ruffle some feathers, Dyneema gear. It's ultralight, waterproof, and packs down super small. And for some hikers, it's an absolute win. But here's the thing, it's not always the best choice. Dyneema is insanely strong for its weight, but it has a weakness, abrasion. Unlike traditional fabrics that stretch and flex, Dyneema is stiff. Over time, pinholes and wear spots can develop, especially in high stress areas like tent floors and ridge lines. And because it has virtually zero stretch, it doesn't flex with the wind like sil nylon or sil poly. If you pitch it really tight and a strong storm rolls in, something's gotta give. Either a ripped panel, a snapped guy line, or a seam failure. Ever woken up to a collapsed tent in the middle of a downpour? Not fun. And then there's the heat issue. That reflective surface, great in cold weather, but in summer it can trap heat and turn your tent into an oven. Not to mention that Dyneema is practically see-through, so if you're expecting to get some shade at the end of a long sunny day, think again, because that sun is gonna shine right through your tent into your face. And of course, there's the cost. Dyneema gear is ridiculously expensive. If you're just getting into backpacking or need gear that can take a beating, dropping $600 on a tent might not be the best move. A well-made sil poly or sil nylon tent or tarp is cheaper, tougher, and more forgiving in rough weather. And hey, if Dyneema works for you, awesome. But if you're right on the fence, just know that there are a few solid alternatives that won't break the bank. Check out options like the Durston X Mid, or just go for a classic sil nylon tarp setup. And by the way, what's the most overhyped piece of gear you've bought? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your worst gear regrets. All right, moving on to camp shoes. Camp shoes sound like a great idea, and a lot of time they are, but you have to realize that most of the time you're carrying dead weight. I mean, think about it. You're lugging around extra shoes all day just to wear them for what, maybe 30 minutes to an hour at camp? That's a terrible weight to use ratio. Now, I get the temptation. It is nice to have something to let your feet breathe when you get to camp. But let me offer you a better alternative. Instead of hauling around an extra clunky, heavy pair of shoes, instead, wear your hiking shoes at camp, but loosen your laces and bring an extra pair of insoles. If the insoles in your hiking shoes are wet or dirty or whatever, just take them out, insert your super dry, fresh camp insoles, and now you've got a brand new pair of camp shoes, and you only have to bring a few ounces. All right, next up, hydration bladders. They seem perfect, right? Hands-free drinking, big capacity, easy sipping on the go. But after a few trips, the hassle outweighs the benefits. Your buddy with a smart water bottle dips, fills, and is back on the trail in 10 seconds. You digging through your pack, wrestling with that floppy bladder and spilling water everywhere. And if that wasn't bad enough, one bad bite valve, a loose cap, or an accidental squeeze can leave your sleeping bag or your clothes completely soaked. And then there's the weight. A full hydration kit, water system, bladder, hose, and connectors weighs anywhere from 6 to 10 ounces. You carry more weight for something that's harder to use. And ever taken a sip and got that weird plasticky taste? Yeah, that's your bladder slowly deteriorating. Yum. The better option, a simple smart liter bottle. Lighter, easier to refill, and no surprise leaks inside your pack. And if you need more capacity, you can pair it with something like a CNOC Vecto that folds flat, is easy to fill, and doubles as a gravity filter. All right, let's talk rain protection. Some hikers swear by pack covers, others trust the internal liner. So which one actually works better? Well, the truth is, neither one is perfect. Pack covers don't always fully protect your gear. Water can pretty easily sneak in through the back panel where your straps attach. That means even with a pack cover, you can still open your bag to find damp clothes and a soaked sleeping bag. And in windy conditions, pack covers basically become parachutes. If they're not cinched down tight, they'll fly off and become a $40 donation to the trail. Internal pack liners, on the other hand, do keep your gear dry, but if it's raining hard, your pack will still get soaked. And a drenched backpack can easily add a pound of water weight. The best solution? Well, if you can handle the weight, use both. The pack cover keeps your bag from soaking up water weight and the liner protects your essentials inside. But if you want to go ultralight, well, pick your poison. Personally, I stick with a Nylofume pack liner. It's lighter, cheaper, and guarantees that my sleep system and clothes stay bone dry no matter what. All right, next up, let's talk about fire starters when you're backpacking. Now, fire is important, but unless you're filming a survival reality show, you don't need an entire arsenal of fire starting tools. Some hikers pack like they're expecting to be stranded for months. Stormproof matches, a full-size Bic, a ferro rod, a backup lighter, and even a magnesium block. But let's be real, a simple Bic lighter works 99% of the time. Ferro rods, they are cool, but overkill for a regular backpacking trip. Unless you're in a survival situation, you don't need one. And stormproof matches, well, they're nice, but unnecessary. If it's so wet that a Bic won't work, your kindling probably won't work either. Now, I do recommend bringing a backup fire starter, but I'd say just go with a Bic Mini. This is pretty much all you need. Now, if I'm heading out to do like some bushcraft fun or something like that, that's a different story. In that case, I will bring out the ferro rod, a striker, maybe like a bushcraft knife, and I might even bring out a folding saw just to have fun out there. But for regular backpacking, it's just extra weight with no real benefit. So my fire starting loadout on a typical backpacking trip, one Bic Mini and one backup Bic Mini. And that's it. No stress, no wasted pack space, just fire when you need it. So at the end of the day, guys, backpacking is about carrying what actually works, not what's hyped up. If these items work for you, great. But if you've been on the fence, hopefully this helps you save some weight, some space, and some cash. So if this video helped you out, hit that like button. And if you love backpacking content, make sure to subscribe for more. Stay safe, hike smart, and I'll see you out there.